Sir, we're live. Good to go.
Stop there, huh?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, V. Sanjeevanan, Company Secretary, welcome you all to the 35th Annual General Meeting of your company, being held through video conference facility. I am participating in this meeting from the company's registered office at T Nagar, Chennai. Present for the annual general meeting today are the directors who I wish to introduce to you. I would request each member to acknowledge when being introduced. Mr. R.V. Shekhar, Chairman of this meeting and Director of the company, attending from our registered office. Mrs. Mallika Ravi, Managing Director of the company, attending from our registered office. Mr. N. Vasudevan, Director of the company, joining from his residence in Chennai. Dr. Gauri Ramachandran, Independent Director and Chairperson of the Audit Committee, Stakeholder Relationship Committee, Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and Corporate Social Responsibility Committee, joining from our residence in Chennai. Mr. M. Hariharan, Independent Director, joining from his residence in Chennai. Mr. K. Prakash, Chief Financial Officer of the company, joining from our registered office. Mr. K.Y. Narayana, representing Nayan Parekh & Co. Statutory Auditors, joining from his Mumbai office. Mr. Satya, Tax Auditor, representing GM Kapadia & Co., joining from Chennai. Mr. A. Mohan Kumar, Scrutinizer for e-voting and practicing company secretary, joining from his office in Chennai. Mr. R.V. Shekhar, Director, is unanimously selected as the chairman of the meeting. The directors present here. Now over to the chairman.
Thank you, Sanjeev. The company has taken all feasible efforts under the current circumstances to enable members to participate through video conference and vote at the AGM. I thank all the members, colleagues on the board, auditors, and management team for joining this meeting. I hope all of you are safe and are in good health. We have the requisite quorum to conduct the meeting, proceedings of this meeting. I therefore call this meeting to order. I now request our Company Secretary Sanjeevanan to provide general instructions to members regarding participation in this meeting. Sanjeev.
Hi, good morning to everyone. Members may note that this annual general meeting is being held virtually in accordance with the Companies Act 2013 and circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and City. The facility for joining this meeting through video conference or other audio-visual means is made available for the members on a first-come, first-served basis. All members who have joined this meeting are by default placed on mute to avoid any disturbance arising from background noise and ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. The Register of Directors and Key Managerial Personnel, the Register of Contract for Arrangement, has been made available electronically for inspection by the members. Members seeking to inspect such documents can send their request to the mail ID compsecy@landcorp.in. As the AGM is being held virtually, the facility for the appointment of proxies by the members is not applicable, and consequently, the proxy register for inspection is also not available. The company had provided the facility to cast the votes electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice. Members who have not cast their vote yet electronically and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their vote during the meeting through the e-voting system provided by CDSL. Members are requested to refer to the instructions provided in the notice or appearing on the video conference page for seamless participation through video conference. In case members face any difficulty, they may reach out on the helpline numbers provided on page number 196 in the annual report. Thank you very much. Over to the chairman for his speech.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, I extend a warm welcome to this 35th annual general meeting of the company. Due to the prevalent situation, we have to meet through this virtual meeting, which is a first-hand experience for us. Your company has struggled through the COVID-19 period, and business and financial of the company have been quite badly impacted. The management team led by our Managing Director, Mrs. Malika Ravi, has been trying their best to cope with the business and financial losses. And slowly, I repeat, very slowly, things are getting back to normal. And this is as a result of the nature of business that we are in. The current business scenario, after the outbreak of COVID-19 epidemic, the company is assessing the COVID impact on the business activities of the company. I look forward to a no impact situation in the support of one and all. I thank the members of the company for their wholehearted and unconditional support to the management at all instances. I also place on record my sincere thanks to our clients, vendors, bankers, government authorities, of all the employees for their continuous support, which has been wholehearted throughout the difficult times. Thank you. The statutory auditors, Manning Audit and Company, have expressed their opinion in the audit report for the financial year 1920. There were no qualifications, observations, or adverse comments on the financial statements and matters which have a material bearing on the functioning of the company. The statutory auditor's report on standalone financial statements are available on page 73. And the statutory auditor's report on consolidated financial statements are available on page number 131 of the annual report. As noticed along with the annual report in PDF format has been circulated to all the members. I take that the notice convening the meeting and all the resolutions mentioned in the notice as read. I thank you, and I now turn it over to the company secretary for the question and answer sessions to be conducted.
And dear shareholders, thank you for joining our 35th AGM today and for taking your valuable time to participate. As the members are aware, the company has put up the request to the members for their registration on or before 4th December 2020 to speak in the AGM regarding the business of the company. Need to mention that members may address their questions only pertaining to today's AGM agenda. In order to accommodate all registered speakers, we appeal the members to make their views short and precise so that the answers could be provided on a summarized basis at the end of the question session. The first speaker for the day is Mr. Gagan Kumar from Delhi. Mr. Gagan Kumar. Mr. Prashant, is he there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are looking into it. Can you please once again read the name, full name?
Mr. Prashant, whether Mr. Gagan Kumar has come for the meeting?
No. Please proceed.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gagan Kumar,
Sir, he is not joined. You can continue for the next speaker.
Who's Mr. Prashant, please?
he is the host.
Come here. Yes. Not answering.
Mr. Prashant,
Sir, can you hear me? Karthik, can you hear me? Karthik, sir. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
At the speaker.
Yeah, can you hear me?
yes, sir.
That first speaker has not joined. You can continue your proceeding, please.
Mr. Gagan Kumar, please raise your question. Oh, he has not joined.
Yes.
So,
Who's that? Prashant, is it?
yes, sir.
TDS.
Not joined.
So we'll move to the next speaker. The second speaker for the day, Mr. Sarvajit Singh from Delhi. Mr. Sarvajit Singh.
He is also not joined.
So
Okay,
he's also not joined.
fine, okay. We'll move to the next speaker, Mr. J. Abhishek from Chennai. Mr. J. Abhishek.
No, sir.
Okay. We'll move to the fourth speaker. That is Mr. Prakash Chand Galada from Chennai. Mr. Prakash Chand.
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll move to the fifth speaker. So we'll move to the fifth speaker, Mr. P. Jechal from Chennai. Mr. P. Jechal.
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll move to the last speaker, Mr. A.V. Mani Sundaram from Salem.
Come again, sir.
Mr. A.V. Mani Sundaram. A.V. Mani Sundaram.
No, sir. He also not joined.
Okay.
So since there are no speakers, so you can continue if you have received any queries through email. So accordingly, you can answer those questions and you can continue your proceeding.
So few questions we have received through email. So some of those questions will be answering to it.
Well, I'm looking at it for the first time. So one is, what is the impact of COVID? I'll answer on that. And they're asking whether there is light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know whether it's property business or our company, but I'll answer at least so far as our company is concerned. The third one is regarding coronavirus and subsequent lockdowns, so on and so forth. How many employees have we sacked or hired? I'll also answer that. What's the marketing initiative? I'll answer that. And review of the management going forward. That also I'll be happy to answer. And there are other things like providing liabilities, current liabilities, non-current liabilities. Let us know the details. If you like, you know who's the person who's asked the question. You can send a reply to him by email. You send the reply to him, but I would like you to see to it that all the shareholders' written questions, because even though they have not attended the meeting, all their written questions, Malika answer. We have nothing to hide. We'll tell them everything, and we are remaining very hopeful. Okay. The credentials of the new and existing directors also I'll be able to answer. Let's say please provide current top 300 shareholders list. I don't know whether you can do that. You know, they have to ask for make an application separately for shareholders. Separate already available. Already available. Anyway, please reply this. So what's the policy related to dividend of the company? We'll answer that. And which company board of directors success? Thank you very much. All that is fine. So impact of COVID. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome, Sridhar. Welcome all of you, the board members. Now, we are still in the formal part of the meeting because this part of answering questions or the which you have received by email is also part of the formal part of the meeting. So I will take this opportunity of giving you my view on the COVID impact. Look, the COVID started, as you know, officially declared around the 22nd, 21st of March. But insofar as our customers are concerned, from about first week of March, significant slowdown to site visits. Sales had already started to take place. Significant from first week of March itself. When we used to be discussing why Bombay is still running the local trains and Madras is Chennai is running the local trains, etc., because it's a source of infection, and that's how it started to spread. Throughout the first 6 months of COVID, there has been virtually no activity in the site. Nobody came, and we nursed the labor to the extent of some 2.5 months. We participated in our contractors' cost, keep the labor as per the wishes of our Prime Minister. And then finally, when the Shram Bharat trains started to run, most of them went away, and we don't know where they are. Very few of the same people who are with us, I think, are not, very few, maybe 4 or 5 people have come back to our site. Otherwise, we are experiencing new crop of people. Some of them will know our site, some of them will know our city, and that's how it is. Now, during the COVID period, the second 3 months, that is July, August, June, July, August, we also started to, get a little bit active on the digital. We gave a special scheme for purchases, saying that they could buy with just 50,000 rupees to be paid as a booking amount. Subsequently, they could confirm their purchase when they are able to visit the site and take their, make up their final booking. So that the idea was to seek this money, they would seek this money and have a block an apartment for them. So we had a limited success. I think we sold about 4 or 5 apartments, correct? Is that right? 4 or 5 apartments is what we sold. And I think one of that person has still not come back to, in Choling and Nellore, is still not come back to India to close the deal from Europe. So that's only one that's still pending. And that's the broad scene. Otherwise, virtually no economic activity. The one economic activity taking place was that we were paying out all the bills, operating costs of these various offices here, plus our staff salary, and then paying banks their interest, paying banks their cost, etc. And that's about what we have seen happening. Now, the shutdown of the COVID officially the lockdown officially ended around the end of August, but unfortunately, the government's own publicity mechanism had limited senior citizens leaving home. They've always been saying, stay safe, stay home, or stay home, stay safe. So even if a purchaser were to be a 32-year-old, 33-year-old individual, married with a small kid, and he braved coming to the site and select an apartment, he was unable to bring his parents or his in-laws to come and see and make a family decision. As you know, real estate is a family decision. Real estate purchase is a family decision, which all of us have experienced ourselves in our own area lifetime. And therefore, what could have been a certain sale in the month of August is probably in some cases not even completed as of today. No, we are in December. So people are very hesitant to come out. And as you know, in our last annual meeting, we had said that we are going to be in the not clear?
No, Karthik has just.
Okay. And as you know, in our last annual general meeting and last annual report, we had said that we are going to be providing housing for senior citizens under the title Harmonia. We launched it in March last year, and then sold about 20 villas between May to December or January. And thereafter, this lockdown has completely, disturbed our operations, because most people who are buyers are senior citizens, and they have been advised by the children not to leave home. And if the seniors are not buying, the next generation is buying, then the seniors are not willing to come out to bless the transaction. So we are in a very peculiar business where the main decision makers and the chief influencer in the business is a senior citizen, and senior citizens are the ones who are most vulnerable to COVID, which has now made our business very vulnerable. But I think this will change. For your information, yesterday, in this last 3-4 days' time, we have sold 3 or 4 senior villas. And people are now bragging. We are having site visits almost on a daily basis. We are advertising. And Sriperumbudur as a destination is now slowly gaining traction. That much I can say. I think by next year, next annual general meeting, we'll have definitely something good to report about the volume of sales. Generally, in all projects, this is what my feeling is. Now, what is the coronavirus pandemic? What has it done to us in terms of money? What do you think we have lost? I think we have lost, if you ask me, on a back of the envelope calculation, because it's all subject to some ifs and buts and some assumptions. We have lost close to 20 crores. 18 to 20 crores is what we have lost. We are going to have to pay interest on the monies that we borrowed. And those sales will happen, but it will happen at a later stage. That means the period cost of interest, which is a period for the period, 7-8 months, that's gone. You're not going to get it back. Plus operating cost is another 3-4 crores. Both of them is now no longer in our way. We will have to accept as a company that this cost has to come out of our reserves. How is it getting translated on the ground? On the ground, it is getting translated by you're doing it through repricing of the inventory. Correct? The work in progress cost. We are now, this year's account is, I think the last quarter's accounts we have provided. Satya, we have not provided 1.5 2 crores of rupees towards impairment on account of interest in the work in progress. Correct? Unmute.
Almost 1.5 to 1.6 crore was the impact.
So we have taken an impairment charge on the work in progress, and this might have to continue for a few more quarters. And this, hopefully, it is not fully 20 crores. It is a little lower. Let us put it this way. So we are now in the process of talking to all our bankers to restructure our account. Just now, the City Union Bank General Manager told me that he will restructure our account. He confirmed it to me on the phone. I just spoke to him. And we are in talks with LIC, we are in talks with Catholic Union Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, everybody we are talking to, and we are even in the process of requesting Kotak Mahindra Advisory Services to be a lead institution to go through with all the banks, all our banks, and what shall I say? And make this inter-se agreement and joint consortium agreement and complete the entire process. We're also entitled to 20% of our aggregate borrowing on 1st of March in the form of an emergency credit, which we have applied for. So the net impact of what we have gone through in the last 8 months is very tight cash flow, slowly improving sales environment, extremely tight cash flow, but there is help coming our way from outside in the form of emergency credit from the banks and the government of India. There is going to be some restructuring of our loan so that the tenure of the loan gets postponed and then we don't get into a situation of being an NPA or SMA 1 or 2 or whatever it is, all that. So this is all of these things are being done now, and our attention is absolutely focused on getting the house in order. after the damages occurred to us. But I think basically the strength of the brand is amazing. I realized it. The last 1 month, I've been going with Mrs. Malika Ravi to meet prospective landowners who want to do joint development with our company. So when I meet them, I ask them, have you heard of us? He says, who has not heard about Narpa is what they're saying. They're a very good company, very good reputation, blah, blah, blah. All that is what they want to say. So we say, thank you very much. Now we've created an additional obligation on us to keep this expectation in your mind going. And that's what we're doing. We have also done resizing for field fertilizer project. It's now been approved by CMDA. We're waiting for the advice. Next week, we are expecting the advice. And by end of January, we'll launch the project. And there is good groundswell support for the project also. So we're hoping that we will gain good traction in that area. We are bidding for a project in Basan Nagar. We are bidding for a project in Ashok Nagar, in KK Nagar, in Anna Nagar. So our focus is now changing from distant suburb to city, where we are still seeing how to provide an excellent apartment made by our company with full compliance and rules and regulations and affordable and price at which they don't feel that they are being gypped, they feel it's affordable. That's the emphasis we are in actually. Hopefully we'll succeed. Let us see what the future holds for us. That's so far as the outlook and the corona impact. Yes, one of the most painful decisions that any management will have to take during the course of this our employment as leader is to cut the salaries and of their own staff. Malika has had to go through that process, painful process. So she first decided to cut her own salary and then led by example. And we have saved about nearly 1.6 crores or 1.8 crores as a fixed commitment, period commitment. But what she had done is she had made out an incentive scheme based on sales. So the sales people get some incentive and a certain other amount of incentive amount based on those sales amount gets distributed amongst all the other employees of the company. So if it all works well according to our plan, when I say that by March, at least 80% of the amounts that they would have faced as a cut will be restored. 50-60% would get restored. But if everything in hand goes well, it should be 100% also. So the idea was that if the company and all employees work as a team, company is not trying to save money, but what company is saying is give us sales, give us performance, and take the money. That's a kind of thing. Well, we lost a fair amount of senior management in this decision, but here is an example. Durga has now become the head of accounts and under overall direction from Prakash and many others who have come here. Sanjeev is now the company secretary. We all know that we had some difficulties with this company secretaries of the last 2 generations, and one of the company secretaries left because of the same reason. But Sanjeev has come and he's doing a very good job. We all have a lot of confidence in him. Very methodical, very procedural, and I like him. And we have only yesterday said that you're going to take some more on your plate in terms of regulatory compliances, RBI rules, etc. So he's doing that. One question which is here is, what are the management's efforts to improve company image through investor relation exercise, like on call, quarterly presentations, meeting global investors? We're ready to take, I'm a good talker. I'm ready to talk to anyone at any time. If they want to have a call with me, I'm willing to talk. As long as I'm not breaching any rules of confidentiality and business confidentiality or your rules and regulations. I'm willing to talk to any shareholder, anybody, and give them my opinion on what things are going to be like. There are also a question here, what are the credentials of all the existing and new directors? I'll go through one by one, all of them, and for the benefit of those who might not participate in the meeting, but then at the subsequent time are going through the proceedings of this AGM. Well, Shekhar, the only credential for me is that I founded this company long ago. From a very different perspective, I'm really an ancient man now. We have a new generation of management led by Mallika Ravi, and Mallika is a chartered accountant. He had spent several years in Hiranandani Group in Bombay and in Chennai, and she was part of the HIPPO project in Oragadam. And then she joined us as a CEO in 2009, I think, and then became an MD in 2014. And the company is now running under her. Last year, and what happened to you between 2014 and so you still continue? Okay, you would have been a deemed managing director because that's what the law says actually. So anyway, formally designated last year as managing director, but she's been virtually the managing director since 2009, 14 when I retired. My good friend Sridhar is another director. He's been on this company for now more than 5 years. Sridhar should be right, and Sridhar is a brilliant chartered accountant, partner of Ernst & Young, retired in the Middle East, and he was actually heading the Middle East tax practice from Muscat. My friend Mr. Vasudevan is a self-made businessman. Once I think he told me that my uncle gave me 1,000 rupees and said, "You do what you want with this, but start a business." And he started a business with 1,000 rupees, and he started a metal corporate unit and done very well. Has 2 children. One of his sons is in Seattle in the US, and another one is in Bangalore. Both of them in the IT field. Very nice man and very successful businessman. Dr. Gauri Ramachandran, she needs no introduction. She is our chairman of our audit committee, CSR committee, and has been associated with Hindustan Chamber of Commerce in various capacities, educationist, scholar, and you are also involved with financial services with railways or RBI. Right, actually. So that's her qualification. Hariharan is an old friend of mine who's a management consultant. About 25 years ago, I did a building on Dr. C.P. Ramaswamy Road, which was his residence, and he, along with our architect at that time, joined the 2 plots. We made one building, and then Hariharan and his brother was a very famous stockbroker in Chennai. The connection goes back to a quarter century, actually, if you ask me. And Hariharan is a tower of wisdom for me in many areas, with reference to employee training, employee motivation, and so on and so forth. And some of these decisions we took, we had a quick word with him, and I'm sure his association is going to benefit the company in a big way going forward. Then we have Nagalakshmi, who is practicing. She's a chartered accountant, company secretary. Only a chartered accountant. And she is now into educational practice. She provides, she runs an NGO, if I'm not mistaken, as the educational field. And she's the daughter of one of my friends who was a GM Credit for Catholic Syrian Bank, and I used to visit them whenever I used to go to children road days. As you know, Catholic Syrian Bank is one of our important bankers. And then Mr. Harishankar is a leading lawyer in Chennai, and we actually do some consulting work with this firm on the legal side. Apart from the fact that apart from that, he's also the secretary of the Nardagan Sabha, which is where all our programs are conducted through Bharat Sangeet Utsav every year after year. So Harishankar is another person whom we have very high and good regard. And our auditors, Satya and Narayan, we have very long association with them. And Narayan now has established an independent firm, and he is an statutory auditor, and Satya is from GM Kapadia, who looks after the tax side of the work. We consult them on almost everything. In fact, even yesterday we were on a call with Suri about the ECB coming in, possible ECB coming to our company. Suri is advising us on that matter. And Vignesh is our internal auditor. No, not internal auditor. Bright young guy, and that's about what we have as a core group of people who are on the board and who are advising the company, the auditors, and so on and so forth. And that's about what it is now. The general point is that we still haven't got anything on the main and eternity commercial building case. Its matter is still lying in Supreme Court. It's to our misfortune that the hearing was scheduled for 29th of February, and Mrs. Ravi and her legal head, they both went to Delhi. The judge took it. So the hearing got postponed. Immediately thereafter, Delhi went into lockdown. And we still haven't had a date fixed for hearing for our main case. It's in Supreme Court. Hopefully, it should hopefully get heard before 31st March. Either we will lose the case, in which case we'll have to file in Chennai High Court for what is that? Chennai High Court, you file it for what? You file it for specific performance. Or we win the case and we get the building and go on as so nothing has happened. But what has happened is that in the last 5 years, thanks to the wonderful family, Menon family with whom we did business, we built a remarkably good building on St. Mary's Road, and probably got the highest rent for anybody in Chennai for any building. And then finally we are on we are being denied our rights under the joint development agreement by the Menons. And this has put us into a loss of approximately 60 crores in the last 5 years. But we'll have to plod along, get the case done, and move on. So this is what it is. Now, one more point is about the dividend that you asked. There was a significant discussion in the board meeting, in 2 board meetings, about dividend to be continued to be given, because in the history of our company, we have never missed dividend in the last 35 years. Unfortunately, we could not recommend declaration of dividend, because when the funds position of the company is so tight for the shareholders and the promoters to take any money from the company under any reason, under any gap, would be seen automatically by the lenders and others to be not a wise decision, which is the reason we took the decision not to declare dividend, even though we have sufficient reserves. But I'm sure 1 more year or maybe 2 more years, things will become absolutely normal, and we could make up all the lost dividends of the CS which were not done and by in future. And we will ensure that the shareholders are looked after as best as they can. Any other point? Any other point? Yeah.
Thank you to all shareholders who have asked questions. I hope all of your questions are answered. Over to the chairman for the.
So I have this statutory duty to do, so I'll complete it. Members may note that voting on the CSDL platform will continue to be available for the next 15 minutes. Therefore, members who have not cast their vote yet are requested to do so. The Board of Directors has appointed Mr. A. Mohan Kumar, Practicing Company Secretary, as scrutinizer to supervise the e-voting practices. The resolution as set forth in notice shall be deemed to be passed today, subject to the receipt of the requisite number of votes. Thanks to all of you present at this meeting for your cooperation conducting this meeting in order. There being no other business, I declare this meeting closed. Stay safe, take care of your health, and we will keep in touch with the company and we will service you to whatever extent we can. Thank you.
With your permission, Chairman, we are concluding this meeting. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you all
please.
for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Bye.
Sir, can we hold for the e-voting, Karthik?
No, Shankar, you can go ahead and close the meeting.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. I'll call all of you and talk to you during the course of this week to the directors and say, during the course of this week, I'll talk to all of you. Thanks.
Good job, Sanjay.
Thank you.